What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got some new Keyforge news. Now, principally, this does revolve around a couple of erratas, or clarification, well, one errata, one clarification, about cards, one of which isn't even out yet, and has now been errata'd twice. Now, on the one hand, you can go, how has Drummernaut been errata'd twice before it's even been released? And on the other hand, you could go, hang on a second, these dudes care so much about the game, they're just going to errata it until it's right and makes sense. I'm always going to be in favour of things like erratas, where the makers of the game have decided, you know what? We need this to make the game better. Incidentally, an errata is where you read the card differently to what it actually says on it. We'll get to that in a moment when we talk about Drummernaut. But first, we need to take a little bit of a look at, well, Pitlord. You see, Pitlord was previously the focus of a very full-on ruling, I think is probably the way to put it. So Pitlord is one of the most interesting creatures in Call of the Archons. You get a double ember bonus for playing it, which is nuts. It's got 9 power, which is nuts. It's got taunt, which could be good or bad. It means they have to attack Pitlord, not the neighbours. And it's got a very strange skill, a permanent skill that reads, while Pitlord is in play, you must choose Dis as your active house. Here's the thing though, maybe you don't want to. And that was kind of the downside. Double ember bonus, 9 power. This is a phenomenal creature, one of the best creatures in the entire game. But it forced you to choose Dis. So either you had to have a couple of turns where you were fine playing Dis, or you had to have an out. You had to have a way of getting rid of it. Maybe you had a free Fates so that you could play Pitlord, take advantage of it, and then in a turn or two drop free Fates to destroy the 3 most powerful creatures, one of which was almost certainly going to be Pitlord, and then you'd be off the hook and you could choose something else. And the previous ruling was all about Pitlord and Control the Weak, because Control the Weak said, choose a house on your opponent's identity card. Your opponent must choose that house as their active house on their next turn. Problem is, you can't do both. So if your opponent basically chooses you to go Mars, well, Pitlord says you can't choose Mars. What's going on? And the ruling is that cannot overrules must. So even though Control the Weak says you must choose Mars, because Pitlord already said you can't choose Mars, it wins, and essentially you cannot be locked out of having an active house, which was initially the ruling. Well, what happens if you have a Maverick Pitlord? Now, this will only affect a very, very, very small number of decks, but the fact of the matter is we have seen some Maverick Pitlords. They are out there. It does happen. Here is a picture of a Maverick Pitlord. Now, this was popped into Reddit, and we see a Brobnar Pitlord. Well, hang on a second. It says you must choose Dis as your active house. Does that mean that if you don't have Dis in your deck, and you play Pitlord, you have no active house and you lose the game? That would be rubbish. But the answer here goes back to that same interaction I just told you about. Cannot overrules must. So, if we look at Maverick Pitlord says, while Pitlord is in play, you must choose Dis as your active house. But you can't choose Dis as your active house, because Dis isn't on your Archon card. So we have an interaction where you can't choose Dis, but you must choose Dis, and the ruling is, and this was laid down in the previous Pitlord ruling, can't overrules must. And here's the great thing about Maverick Pitlord. You can choose any active house. Maverick Pitlord is now nuts. Maverick Pitlord is now a 9 power double ember bonus creature with taunt, but without the downside. Tell me that doesn't sound amazing. And I might have to call you a liar. So it used to be that Maverick Pitlord, you just could not play it down. Not unless playing it down got you the last 2 ember and won you the game. I mean, let's say for argument's sake you had a Maverick Pitlord in Untamed, and you had a key charge, so you could just play down Maverick Pitlord, get the double ember bonus, and then immediately play a key charge to forge a key and win the game. But that was about the only way you could use it. Now, Maverick Pitlord, awesome! The other ruling we need to talk about today is Drummernaut. And what's cool and kind of weird about Drummernaut, it's one of the Wave 2 cards that has been revealed, teased, we've seen it, it has been officially shown, but it's not actually out yet. And we have just changed the wording for the second time. Remember, it has received an official errata, which means we read it as the errata says, we do not read it as it says on the card. So initially, Drummernaut read when you play, or fight, or reap, return a friendly giant creature to your hand. The two important points there are, return, you have to, friendly giant creature, it can be Drummernaut. So essentially, when you played down Drummernaut, you had to return a friendly giant creature to your hand, and if you didn't have any others, it would have to be Drummernaut. Now this would be very, very relevant if you had a card like Hunting Witch on the field, for argument's sake. Because Hunting Witch says, each time you play another creature, gain an ember. So you would play down Drummernaut, pick it up, because you don't have any other friendly giant creatures, and then you'd play it down and you'd get an ember, and you'd have to pick it up, and then the rule of 6 would kick in, and essentially Drummernaut would give you 6 ember bonus. Well, that's pretty gosh darn great. But then we got to the first errata, and the first errata said you may return another friendly giant creature to your hand. So you could no longer loop Drummernaut. If you played down Drummernaut and you had no other friendly giant creatures, nothing happened. You had to have a different friendly giant creature. Now that could be a second Drummernaut, and you could just kind of sit there flicking between them, and that would be fun, until the rule of 6 kicked in and stopped you. But it's got to be another, and it's become optional. Now, optional can be fairly important, because you might not want to pick up one of your other creatures. You might want it down, because when you pick it up, you play it in, and it's exhausted, you've got to wait a turn to reap or fight. So the you may, fairly important. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we have our second Drummernaut errata. It now reads, and as it stands, this is the final text, this is how you read Drummernaut, return another friendly giant creature to your hand. So it is no longer optional, you have to do so now, but it cannot be Drummernaut. So if you play it down and there's no other friendly giants, nothing happens, but if there's any, it goes back to your hand. Now we're told we're going to get a full explanation of this. There is going to be a ruling roundup, FAQ, call it what you will, on Wednesday. So do check back Wednesday. We'll have a video explaining all about it. We don't know what it's going to be. It's kind of weird that we've had a Pitlord ruling and a Drummernaut ruling, and then we're getting a ruling roundup on Wednesday, rather than just saving everything till Wednesday. But I'm sure all will become clear on Wednesday. So this new errata then, it's kind of cool. It's still a bit of a nerf, because you can no longer, if you've got no other friendly giant creature, you cannot loop Drummernaut, and there's a whole bunch of skills like the aforementioned Hunting Witch that kick in when you play a creature. You can no longer use that. But it's no longer optional. So what you can do here, and kind of have to sometimes, Ganger Chieftain. Now, Ganger Chieftain is the immediate one that springs to mind. Of course, we've not seen all of the cards from Age of Ascension yet, and I have a sneaking suspicion that when we do see all the cards from Age of Ascension, we're going to see a combo that makes us go, that's why we had to do it. But Ganger Chieftain. Ganger Chieftain reads, when you play it, you may ready and fight with a neighbouring creature. Drummernaut, Ganger Chieftain. Yeah. Play Drummernaut, pick up Ganger Chieftain. Play it down, ready and fight with Drummernaut. But of course, when you fight with Drummernaut, you pick up Ganger Chieftain. And then you play it down again and you ready and fight with Drummernaut. Here's the thing though. If you're just fighting, you're a 6 power creature. And the rule of 6 kicks in. You can only do this 6 times, but how many times are you knocking out 6 creatures? Probably not that many, because you're going to die. However, remember that you do as much as you can. So when Gang of Chieftain says you may ready and fight with a neighbouring creature, if you ready but there's nothing to fight, you reap. And then when you reap, you pick up Gang of Chieftain, and then you play it down, you ready and fight, but there's nothing to fight, so you can reap. And then you reap and you pick up Gang of Chieftain until the rule of 6 kicks in. Yeah, Drummernaut looks really, really good. The Errata'd is very important because you can no longer loop a single Drummernaut. That's very important. And it's no longer optional. And again, I think we'll get more clarity on that when we know everything that's in Age of Ascension. The last thing I want to mention, and it's not a rule inquiry per se, but it was confirmed on the Crucible cast today that there is going to be an official live stream from the UK Games Expo. I know, right? They've not done an official live stream from a Vault Tour yet. Now, we've had some unofficial live streams done with their encouragement. They facilitated other people doing it, allowed them to do it and all of that. But they've not done an official live stream yet. We don't know how this is going to look. We don't know what the plan is. We have very little information. But what we are told is on the Saturday and Sunday, not the Friday, all day, we're going to have an official stream. Will there be more in the future? I don't know. What's going to happen between rounds? I don't know. We don't really know much. But there's going to be an official live stream, which means that they are ramping up Vault Tours and their coverage thereof. This can only be a good thing. How many times during the previous Vault Tours have we heard stuff like, oh, I wish we had more information about what was doing well? Well, you know what's really easy to do when you've got a live stream running all day? Keep people who aren't there up to date about what's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited. But I want to know how you feel. So tell me your thoughts on Pitlord. Tell me your thoughts about Drummernaut. Tell me your thoughts about the live stream in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about games like Keyforge, but also a bunch of others. Oh, also, I'm going to be at the Birmingham Vault Tour, so come and say hello if you're there. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.